In this tutorial, I'm going to briefly cover every setting within Teleprompter Pro so you know what every button and control does. Okay, so if we'll start at the bottom of the screen here with the Edit Script button. So if we go click here, it will open up our text editor, and as you would expect, this is where we would enter our text. Okay, then we have some buttons at the top, so we have the ability to change text color, or we can highlight text and make bold, underline, etc. This button here is Insert Section Marker. What this allows you to do is when you click in an area and insert a section marker, it puts a symbol like this. It might be easier if I make it in black. Okay, it's just effectively a back and a forward arrow. And if you have multiple of these, with a keyboard shortcut, you can easily jump to that section of the text. Then there's also an ability to search your text. So if you've got a big script and you want to jump, no problem at all. Wrapping is if you have text that goes really long text, you have the ability to turn wrapping on. You can't see it here because we've only got short text, but if I was to enter more text, I'll turn wrapping off, and what you will see with wrapping off, it just goes on, and if we turn wrapping on, it will do the carriage returns for us. Okay, if ever you want to type in a new script, you should click the Clear Script button. By clicking this button, everything in the display will disappear. Once you're happy with your script, you can then close. So now we come along from the bottom. Back to start is if we've finished speaking or we want to start from the beginning, we click back to start and it will take us to the beginning of our script. If we are scrolling our text and we get lost, get too far behind, we can click the back button and it will jump us back a few lines until we catch up. Pause and play is what you would expect. And then forward is the opposite of back, it just jumps you forward a few lines. Next thing is scroll speed. If I bring just this show times, you can actually see the scroll speed setting here. So you can see you want it to go quicker or slower. Okay, scroll speed. So you set that to a comfortable speaking pace for yourself, and it makes a rough calculation of how many words per minute that would be, and also the duration that the text would take at that particular speed. Next is if you're using a teleprompter glass, we have the option to mirror text and invert text. Okay. Next is the text size. So if you're going to be a long way from the display, you can make the text really big. Speech recognition. Although I don't recommend using speech recognition for really long speeches, it's a feature that's there. I think the auto scrolling is much better for regulating the pace of your speech, so that is what you should be using. But speech recognition is there, so you can enable that, and then it will start scrolling when you speak the correct words of the script. There's an actual YouTube video that I've posted particularly on that feature, so I'm not going to go into it in depth, but that's the button to enable it there. Then we've got load script. So after you've saved a script, you can actually click load and you can load a script back in, and then save script. And I recommend using, not just loading in from a Word file or a text file, I do recommend that you save your scripts from the app, because it's not only storing the text, but it stores the font, the colors, the scroll speed, the text size, and all of your settings embedded within the file, so that when you load in that script, it will be set up just how you like it. Okay, then here it will show you the current file that is loading. You can say I've got no file loaded as yet. So let's move on to the top menu. Microphone and camera on off. What this does, by doing this, I'll just do the microphone. You can see it brings a record button here, and we can record some audio. So I just click testing 1 2 3 4, and then we can preview the recording. And because it's just an audio, testing 1 2 3 4, testing 1 2 3 4. Okay, and there we go. So record. We also can enable a camera, and we can record. Unfortunately, I can't enable that in the app at the moment because I'm using that to record this video. Direct text entry. What this allows is, if you don't want to be entering text in here, but you want to enter text directly on this screen, you can enable direct text entry, and now you can add new text straight into here. But be aware, when you have this off, you have the ability to use not just these controls, but you can use the space bar to start and stop scrolling. For obvious reasons, when direct text is enabled, that will no longer work because space is now allowing you to type. So just be aware there. Disable scaling. What happens is, when you shrink the size of the screen, all of the text will rescale to match the size of your particular screen size. If you don't like this squished text, you can actually disable scaling, and it will scale the text to the actual correct dimensions. Just a word of caution, this does not work if you are using dual view. The reason is because the monitors, your primary and secondary monitor could be different resolutions. Scaling, we can't disable scaling because they must remain in sync. Next, we have quick color changes. So although you can actually alter colors of text within the script editor, you can have quick adjustment here as well. But you can see, even though I'm changing color, it does maintain these changes that we did as well. And then for custom colors, we can just double tap and we get a color picker, so we can, and you notice it's only changing the color of the text that is not specifically formatted. Okay. Then with this one, menu open. By default, if we have this turned off, when we start scrolling, both menus disappear. If you always want to see that bottom menu, you can select menu open, and this will always appear. Next, full screen. Just as what you think it is, you just go like this, and now, particularly if I turn the full screen and the menu open, we can get a complete full screen of text with no annoying menu bars. So let's get that back. I'm sorry. Show times is this item here. So it shows you the remaining time of your script, the total duration, and some of the bits of information. Controls overlay. This gives you some big buttons. This is particularly useful if you're using a tablet or something like that. You've got nice big buttons that you can control the app with. Next, text alignment. So this is the alignment of the text. It's left at the moment, center, right. Font, yeah, so we can change the, and this now supports every font that is on your system. Side triangles, that refers to these items here. So if you're in using a teleprompter glass, normally you would be getting your talent to read when the text passes here. But if you're setting it up so that you just reading from the screen, it's possible that the webcam is at the top of the screen, so you can move these arrows to these triangles to the top or the bottom, or you can have a highlight bar instead, or if you prefer you can turn them off altogether. So that covers the visible features, but if we click here we can get extra settings for the app. So a lot of them are duplications from here. Okay, so for instance, bottom menu open, you can see it's the duplicate item there. The reason everything is in here is later on you will see that we can actually customize this interface to just show the buttons that we're interested in. And so this is here. Force full screen is the same here, full screen, direct text entry. Menu size, now this is different. This controls the scaling of the menus. So we've got the normal menus. Maximize, you can see it's made everything really big or small. Disable scaling, large controls overlay is just the one there. Show times. Now mirror menus, this is an interesting one, because if we mirror here, you see the text mirrors, but the menus stay unmirrored. If we also enable mirror menus, you can see all of these menus have been mirrored as well. So you can actually read your user interface in Teleprompter Glass. Mirror menus. Switch dual view and main menu. Okay, so what this does, this just switches which is your main primary monitor or secondary monitor. Okay, so we don't see anything happening here because we're not enabled dual view. Video preview, okay, we've got the option of small, full screen. So when you enable the camera, you'll get a big picture of yourself or whatever the camera is pointing at. Or if we select small, you just get one in the corner, or you can turn it off altogether. I suggest if you don't need the preview, yeah, you should turn it off because your recording performance will be better, particularly if you're on a lower powered machine. Or at the very least, use the small. Font style, these are all the same as here. And one button I didn't cover was dual view, and we'll come back to that. Line width allows us to do this. So you could argue, what is the point of this? Now, imagine that you're sitting quite close to your screen. If I was to read this text, my eyes would be drifting from, let's turn this mirror off again, okay? Your eyes would be drifting right across the screen. So what you can do, you can use this line width to pull the text in to actually reduce your eye movement from left to right. Okay. This option, line width both displays. I'm going to show you dual view in a moment. This is where you output your display to another display. And the option with this is if you only want the line width to impact the dual view display, and we'll see that in a moment. So let's do that now. So I'll switch now. So what we can see now, in the top left of the screen, you can see my primary monitor. And in the bottom right, you can see what is my secondary monitor. So I'm now going to enable dual view, and I'm going to choose my other monitor. And you can see what it's done. It's launched the text, but you can see there's no controls because these controls are hidden because the user who's there is just for the person who's reading it. But you'll notice that the primary and secondary monitor are always kept in sync. And if we do that line width, you can see it works on both. But as I said, with this button, it only impacts the secondary monitor. So that is dual view. We'll disable that and we'll go back to my primary display. Some more settings. Load script, yes, the same as the bottom, and save script. Script editor, yeah, same again. Customize menus. What this allows you to do is you can customize this display. So if you find you're never using the microphone button or the camera button, not a problem. You can just tick this, untick this should I say, and you can customize the interface to just have on what you need. If you select these, you can disable a menu entirely. So if I click this, the entire top menu disappears. And same with the bottom menu. The next option, show company logo. If I enable this, you can see it puts a logo in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, and you can select your own custom logo. So that is customize menus. Configure keys. See, I've been controlling the app with a mouse, but you can be controlling it with a wireless controller that is sending keyboard commands. So things like presenter mice all work with this. The Microsoft dial works with this. All of these and wireless keyboards. And you can see there is some keyboard shortcuts. So if we look here, play pause is both B and space. Skip back is page up or up arrow. Nice and simple. If you just want to add a hotkey, you just click in the box, type the key that you want to use, and it's done. If ever you're unhappy with the changes that you've made, you can just reset to defaults. So that gives you customizable keys. This one, mouse wheel controls speed. This is quite a useful feature if you're controlling it for another user. Or if you want more granular control for yourself. So what happens when you enable this? If we click now play, we can actually use our mouse wheel to slow and speed up. So I'm using my mouse wheel. It looks like I've stopped the text, but it's just I've scrolled it to 0 speed, and as I rotate my mouse wheel, I can increase and decrease the speed. So that one is under configure keys, mouse wheel controls speed. Next one, media editor. You saw it briefly before. If you record a video will appear here, and you can preview what you've just recorded. Or if it's audio, yeah, as it was before, you can preview some audio. If you come back later, you can actually load in previous audio or video and save it again. And it has basic functionality here. So, you know, usually at the beginning of a script, you're usually preparing some things, so you want to trim the start of the video. So what you can do, you can scroll to the part of the video. I've got no video on here, but you scroll to the position where you're happy, and you can trim the start, and then you can scroll to the end of the script and trim the end, and then you can save it again. So that is media editor. Then we've got a help screen. So here covers a lot of the things I've been saying. It covers some of the default controls. Here is the presenter mouse that I use to control. So you can just hide this in your hand. And then there's an instruction manual. Oh, it's loaded on the other monitor, but I'll pull it across. So you can see it's loaded up some text instructions. Then there's a video tutorial. This currently takes you to the old tutorial, but in the next release I will be pointing it to this tutorial I'm recording now. Okay, let's get out of this. And then the final button is the About, so you can see exactly which version of the app that you're using. If you want to contact me, if you've got a feature request or a bug report, you can contact me here, or you can go to the Facebook page as well. So I think that covers the majority of the functionality, and I hope you enjoy using Teleprompter Pro. Thank you.